Hi everybody, welcome to your Tuesday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards and I come to you guys live on Tuesdays and Thursdays to show you fun new projects. So for the whole month of March, I am doing a 3D March marathon, and it's all going to be designed behind an Easter basket. So it's Easter baskets, items that can go inside your Easter basket. But we are not doing a basket per se. It is going to be a bag. So for today's first Facebook Live, we are going to create the bag we are going to be filling through the month of March with Easter things. So I'm super excited to show you guys this fun, adorable, and easy bag. And I tell you, I am doing this for all of the kids, and we are actually going to Natalie's for Easter. Hopefully, cross my fingers if I get the day off. And she has 2 roommates, so I can't just show up empty-handed. So I actually am doing what I'm saying, and I have all my bags done besides the one that we're going to be doing for today's live. So once I point you guys down, I'll show you what the bags look like. I did do them a tiny bit different. They're all the same concept, but I did the boys in more masculine colors versus the girls that I'm doing in feminine. And I did go a little extravagant on the girls because I only had to do 3. I only have 3 daughters, so and no daughter-in-laws. So I only had to make 3, so I figured they deserve a little bit extra in on their stuff. So hello, everybody. Hello, Bev, Valerie, Anna, Heather. Who else is logged on? I think that's it so far. Welcome, everybody. So I had a crazy day. I think somebody got into our mailbox and stole some of my mail. I am literally just beside myself about it. My girlfriend, my neighbor, Amanda, sent me a text saying, look what I found in the middle of the road. And I got thinking, I literally just sent that card out today, or I put the card in the mailbox to go out today, and it was out of the envelope. It was in the middle of the street. It was driven over a million times. Yeah, so I think it either had to have been kids playing in the mailboxes or somebody, I don't know, but I was really irritated. So I had to text my 2 girlfriends that their cards were in the mail to tell them, not sure who's not getting a card, or neither of them might be getting a card, but I did send them. So maybe they'll get 2 in the mail. Anyway, hello, Jessica. So I am excited to show you guys today's project. So let me flip you over and we will get started. So what we are going to be focusing on, let me show you the stamp set and paper that we're going to be using first, and then I'll show you guys the boxes or the bags. So I am using the Fine Arts Floral Designer Series paper and stamp set. I did link the product code on this Facebook. That I think the whole bundle is on back order, but you still can get the stamp set, the dies, and the paper. But this is the set that we're going to be playing with. So let me show you the boys' bags first. So these are the boys' bags. Let me get this right. So I used our letters, and I put them on our puff paper or our puff sheets, and I'll show you what those look like as well. So I wrote everybody's name, and I did the Hey Chick, and then I used the Happy Easter on. That is the Word Wishes dies. I die cut the Happy Easter, and I did the boys a little bit more masculine. I used all the same designer series paper for the boys, but I just thought it was more their style versus pink and pretty. So these are the boys that I did. And then I don't like people that have really long names. I don't think we can be friends because it is really hard to write people's names and get it on these little pieces. That's why in the measurements, I put optional measurements, because if you have like a Bev and a Jill, hello Jill, if you have a smaller name, you don't need as big of a piece. So like Jeff was really good. Jeff is one of my daughter's roommates. So I really like Jeff because he's got a little name. Anyway, so that is the boys. Oh, there's one more boy that I forgot, her other roommate. So that's what I did for the boys, and it stands up. I do have ribbon to go on them. Let me bring in the one that has the ribbon. I ran out, so it's on order. But I did tie the little handles, so sorry, my hand's in the way. But it is a nice, big, sturdy bag. So those are the boys' bags. Let me bring in the girls' bags, and then we will start crafting. So this is the Floral Art Designer Series paper that I used. And I just thought it was so pretty, and it just screamed spring and Easter, and I went very casual on the stamping. I pretty much did all tone on tone, but I thought it kind of made it pop because the Designer Series paper is so bright and vivid. So I have one for Cassie, and then this one I did for Peyton. Just absolutely beautiful paper, and I used the coordinating ribbon that comes in the bundle. So we are going to make, can anybody guess what other child we are going to be making? You got it, we're making Natalie's. I really struggled because I didn't want the kids to feel that I was favoring one over the other one on who's to do live. So I almost didn't do any of them just for that matter, but I am. Okay, so this is the Word Wishes dies that we're going to be using. And it comes with Mother's Day, it comes with Father's Day, it comes Easter, Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day. It is a very cool die set. So let's get crafting. So for Natalie's, I am going to be using this beautiful floral paper. Oh, it is just so fun and bright. I love it. So the one thing I am going to let you know is if you have directional specific paper, you want to make this first score mark on the side that is going to be facing up. If you don't have directional specific paper, you don't have to worry about this. But this is a directional specific design. So I'm going to lay this in so my design is towards the left and my score marks are along the top. This also is an optional score mark. You don't have to do this portion of it. Let me bring this in. So we're going to make a 1-inch banner that is going to flip the opposite direction so we see both sides. If you don't do this part, your box is going to be 1 inch taller versus 1 inch shorter. So you don't have to do this score mark. I am because I want to be able to see both sides of the paper. So our first score mark is going to be at the 1-inch mark. We are going to rotate it. We're going to score it at 2.5 inches. We're going to rotate it again. We're going to score it at 2.5 inches. And we're going to rotate it one more time and score it at 2.5 inches. Remember how I talk about box math? This is a perfect example. Your sides and your bottom have to be the same exact size. It doesn't matter what size you do it, but all 3 of these have to be the same exact size. It's called box math. And I love boxes. I should have been called the crazy box lady because I literally designed a box today that kind of knocked my socks off, and I'm really not sure how I did it. But I can't show you. Maybe in a couple weeks I will show you. Okay, so again, I'm taking my other sheet of Designer Series paper. I scored it at 1 inch. I'm going to rotate it, score it at 2.5, rotate it, score it at 2.5, rotate one more time, and score it at 2.5. And that is all we are going to be doing for our score marks. So let's get rid of this. I'm going to set it down so I don't knock it over. So this is one of our 12 by 12 sheets. We're just going to work with one at a time. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold back the 1-inch score mark. We are going to take some adhesive, your adhesive of choice. It can be tear tape, it can be green glue. I would use a stronger adhesive. We're going to just put that along the top, and then we're going to glue this down. I do recommend bringing in your bone folder, and this just kind of gives it a good crease, and it will help hold down your adhesive. I may not have put enough adhesive on there, but we'll see. Okay, so that is our first step we're going to do. Our next step, we are going to come in and crease on our score marks on the other 3 sides. I'm going to actually scoot you back just a hair because, oops, that might be too much. There we go. Just because it's kind of a lot of paper. So we're going to score along the bottom. And let's score, or let's fold on our last edge. There we go. So this is actually going to be the front of our box. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to the bottom, and on these score marks, we are going to come up and cut up the center to the crossing score mark up here. And we're just going to take a notch out of the side, both sides. This just helps your box form a little bit better. So we're going to come and do the same thing on this side. There we go. And notch that out. And we're going to notch the other side out. So now we are left with 2 little flaps and then a longer piece. Since this is the front of our box, what we're going to do is we're going to glue these flaps to the inside. Because this is going to be the outside of our bag, you're not going to see the flaps on the inside. So the outside of the flap, we're going to put adhesive. And you can use liquid glue, you can use tear tape. We will use tear tape once we put both of these bags together. And you're just going to come in, and you don't want it super duper to the edge. You want to leave like less than 1/8 of an inch right here. This is just going to help your 2 sides, your 2 sizes fold into one. Hopefully that makes sense. So again, I'm just going to come in, and I don't want to be all the way up to the edge. I just want to be a hair off. It is, the paper is gorgeous, Jill. Hello, Peyton. Okay, so there we go. So we have the front side of our bag done. Isn't that crazy easy? It is done. So now let's bring in our other piece. And we're going to go ahead and fold on our score marks, but we're not going to glue this down yet. We're going to wait a little bit before we glue that down. So let's come in and fold. We're going to fold on all 3 sides. Oh, let's see, did I get that right? There we go. And then this is our last side. So on the back side of our bag, we need to do an extra cut mark. So this little tiny 1-inch strip right here, we want to get rid of this on both sides. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut down, and I'm going to come over here and cut along the edge. Oops, I think I got a little bit far down, but that's okay. Natalie will never notice unless she watches. Excuse me. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to cut down. And then I'm going to cut this side off also. So now you are left with something that looks like this. Now we can come in and glue this down. It makes it too thick on the sides if you have both of these pieces folded trying to fit it together. Hopefully that makes sense. It will a little bit more once we get our bag together. So fold this, grab your bone folder, and kind of just squeeze all the glue around. There we go. So now let's work on the bottom. So we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to come in, trim up. It is kind of hard to see the score marks on some of the paper. I do recommend if you go over to a window, you can see the score marks a little bit better. But since it's dark out and I don't have a window where I'm crafting, we have to just hope for the best. There we go. And let's do the same thing on this side. There we go. Take a good notch out because we wanted our box to, or our bag to fit correctly. Okay, so on the outside of the box, we went on the inside. Because this is going to be the inside of the box, we want to glue these to the outside so you don't see the seam on the inside. That's probably the trickiest part of this little bag is, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. I was talking to one of my girlfriends before I went live and I was laughing uncontrollably, and I think that is what has caught in my throat. Okay, so putting adhesive on the inside flaps, and now we are going to butt this up to, let me flip this over. We're going to butt this up to the edge and glue this down. We're going to do the same thing on this side. There we go. So this is literally touching the edge. So look, we have the back of our bag, and now we have the front of our bag. Pretty easy, right? So what I want to do first, excuse me, I do not know what is happening. So I'm going to grab some tear and tape, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this in the video. So I'm going to put some tear and tape along the top. And then I'm going to put some along the bottom. There we go. And then I want to do the same thing on both of these sides. It is so easy, Bev. You definitely should make some for your grandbabies and your daughter and daughter-in-law. They are so fun and easy to put together. So I'm putting on the top and the bottom of both sides and the bottom. So one last. There we go. And then one more little strip. I have made 6, 7, 8, I think I've made 9 of these bags. So if I can make 9 of them, it is definitely worth it. Okay, so now I'm going to take off just the bottom of the tear tape. Peel off the bottom. Sometimes you have to make sure it sticks to the paper first. And then not have fingernails. There we go. Okay, so I'm only taking it off the bottom. Now I'm going to bring in the top of our bag. The front of our bag has the edges on the side. I'm going to set this down, put this on the inside, and I'm literally butting it up to the bottom. There we go. That is it. Crazy simple, right? So now I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to peel off the inside tear tape strip, maybe, sometime tonight. Okay, this was probably the most annoying part. So there is a tiny annoying part of it. Okay, well, I don't think I pushed it far enough, or I don't think I pressed it far enough in. So, okay, there we go. So I'm peeling this out. but I'm also holding this away from the edge just because once it sticks, it's going to stick. And I should have brought over the 2 bags that I messed up on because I didn't hold this in. So now I'm going to take off the front piece. And now all I'm going to do is line this up. There we go. So if you can get that silly tear tape off, your box is good. Your bag is good. So now all we have left to do is this side. So he's going to take your pick tool on the inside, get in there to get the tear tape off. Well, this one wasn't that bad. Just remember to hold this in and don't let it touch this side, otherwise you're going to tear your paper. There we go. Oh, that one wasn't tragic either. There we go. So now I'm just going to pull this up and voila. Looky there. You now have a beautiful bag that doesn't have a seam on the inside because the way we folded it. Is that not the coolest thing? And it all lines up perfectly and it's beautiful. Oh, I love these bags. Okay, so our next step is I'm going to just squeeze in the edges, and right where this crease is where I'm going to put a hole punch. And then I'm going to line this side up and put a hole punch over here as well. This will make it where you can put your handle in. Now, Stampin' Up! Does not sell this bad boy, and I really try not to use anything that isn't Stampin' Up! But the older I get, the harder it is for me to use my hands sometimes. And going through this many sheets of paper, I knew it was going to kill my hand. So I have what's called a crocodile, I think that's what it's called, and I'm just putting a hole punch in there. If your hands are strong enough and can do a hole punch, that works perfectly fine as well. I just know my limits. Okay, so now we have our hole in the front and the back. And I'm going to grab some ribbon. And did you know at the bottom of your paper right here, I forget what it's called. Anyway, Stampin' Up! Sells it. There's a ruler at the bottom. So I am just going to measure about 16 inches, and it doesn't have to be anything perfect. Oops. And I'm going to cut that. And we need one for each side, so I am just going to use this as my guide and cut another strip. Oh, this bag is coming along. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. I cannot wait to start filling it. So I'm going to just tie a knot in the end of both of them. And I'm going to set it aside just for a quick second because I want to play with our tag a little bit before I put the rest of this together. So in the description, I put all of these measurements as optional because like I said in the beginning, it kind of depends on how big your name is. So if you have a Natalie, you're going to need a little bit bigger. If you have a Mary Beth, you're going to need a really long piece. So these measurements are all kind of just a guesstimate on what you're going to need. So I'm going to bring in my triple banner punch, and I'm going to punch the bottom of this guy. Ooh, that was definitely not centered. I do not know what happened there. Let's flip it over and see if I can get it a little bit better. Well, nope. So we're just going to leave that. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of our basic whites, and I'm going to hopefully get this one a little bit better. Oh, that one's better. And then I have our 2 pieces of scrap. This is going to be the banner where the name goes, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to come in and banner both edges. Oh, your daughter's name's Mary Beth. That's funny that I said that. I love people that have long names. There we go. So I did the triple banner punch, and now I have this cool little punch. Let me get the exact name. It's the scallop tag punch. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the top of these guys. And this is what's going to give us our tag. Okay, so lots of shrapnel and lots of debris all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of stamping on this before I attach it. So I have the Fine Arts stamp sets, and I'm just using this flower right here. And then I think I might do a little bit of this little doodad inside the flowers to make it pop a little bit. So I'm using Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to ink this up and just kind of center it towards the bottom. Perfect. And now I'm going to bring in, this paper has Mary Merlot in it, and I don't use Mary Merlot very often, so I thought it would be fun to kind of pull a little bit of that color in. So I grabbed the Mary Merlot, and I'm just, ooh, I might need to re-ink this. Let's see if it's going to work. No, not bad. So this one is just going to give it a little bit of texture and a little bit of color. There we go. That's really all the stamping I'm going to do. I'm really not going to do a whole lot. And then this little piece, I went ahead and ran through Natalie's name using our letters. And I am going to show you on the Happy Easter how to get them on the foam adhesive sheets. And I did do them cattywampus for a reason. I knew it would drive me crazy if it wasn't even. So I figured doing them uneven purposely would be less traumatic for me. So that's why I did them all sideways and not straights. So there is a little bit of method to my madness. So we're going to put the L. She's got a long name too. The I. Whew, we're going to barely fit that E in there. There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. Now I'm going to attach this to this banner. There we go. And then let's attach this guy to here. And you can make your tags smaller or bigger, really however you want. That's why I put optional in there. And that is going to drive me crazy, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix it. I might just be making it worse. But let's see if I can fix that. Oh, that's a little bit better. She won't know. We won't tell her. So now I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive in the center. And I'm going to put this right there. And I'm going to set this aside and bring in the, what did I say? The word, what is it called? Hold on. The Word Wishes die. So I pulled out the Happy Easter. And I have the foam adhesive sheets. And what I like to do is just pull back the paper a little bit, put a strip that you're going to be using on, and then fold this back up to it, and then run it through your machine, because I'm not wasting a whole sheet when I only need a little bit of words. So, and that's actually what I did on this one, because I was a little bit short for my brother-in-law, so I just put a piece of Pacific Point up at the top, and then I knew I was going to be doing a lot with Cassie, Peyton, and Natalie, so I finished the sheet up with a piece that went on the rest of it. So I can actually throw that away. Let's bring in our embossing machine. Oh, we are so close to at 7:30. I'm so sorry. I try to keep my Facebook Lives to 30 minutes, and I think I might be going over, but we are pretty close to being done. So I'm going to put Easter and then happy. And it doesn't matter if it's upside down like it is right now. It will not be a big deal. So I'm going to run this through. There we go. And I always run it through one more time just for good measures. I'll set this down so it doesn't fall. And now I'm going to peel off the die. Try to anyway. It does come off. It's just only on a Facebook Live do you have issues. Oh, it's going to take the whole thing off, which is fine. There we go. And let's take this side off. Oh, the Easter came off better. So we're going to pull this happy out. Be gentle with it because it will tear. It's just foam. So I am just going to take your pick tool and I'm going to pull out the pieces that I don't want in there. Just be careful because it will stick to the back side. It's super duper sticky. So I'm just going to pull these out. And yes, I did this for every single one of them. Oh, these kids better know how much I love them. So I'm going to put happy. And then let's pull the Easter off. So you just need to be gentle. Take your time. This is probably the most time-consuming part. Oh, besides taking the tear tape off the bag. That was a bit of a fiasco. So just gently pull and tuck. There we go. Let's get that E out of there. There we go. Oh, see? Only on a Facebook Live. There we go. It's a little not Easter, but we'll make it work. Let's pull these guys out. Maybe. Okay, we're just going to pretend that these are all pulled out. If I can't. Okay, got that one. Let's pull this one out. And the last one, let's see if I can get it out. Pretty easy. If not, we'll just make it work. Okay, it went out the back side. Perfect. So let's kind of reshape that so it looks like Easter. And then we can lay this right at the bottom. There we go. Oops. Let's get all this out of the way and bring in our bag and we can finish putting it together. So I am going to, we have one side that has a knot on it. This side doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it through the first hole. Thank you for all the hearts. And I'm going to slide it through here, pull it all the way through. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And grab it, and I'm going to tie a knot at the back. So now we have 2 knots on the inside, and we can fill our bag with goodies. But before, one more thing. I didn't want this flying all over the place, so I just put some adhesive down the center, and I attached it. I didn't want it falling and getting all over the place, so I just went ahead and attached it. There we go. So let's flip this over, and we'll put the last ribbon through really quick. And our bag is done, and we only went over by a few minutes. But I think it was worth it. It was super fun and super cute. And I am doing this. I'm doing it for all of my kids, and yeah, I think they're gonna love it. And I'm super excited. They're actually probably going to know what they're getting for Easter, but it is what it is. I still want them watching my Facebook Lives. So there we go. There is your adorable little bag. Fun, right? And we are going to fill it with some amazing goodies. Okay, there we go. So I did post on Facebook last week that I was going to be doing a drawing today, and I still will be doing the drawing. I didn't get it pulled up on my computer in time, so I do have all the names. I am going to put their names in a hat, and I will post the winner for sharing my 3D March Fun Extravaganza. So I promise I will get it out to you, and I will post it on the Facebook, and I will congratulate the winner. And I do apologize. I should have had it ready, and I literally spaced it. So I'm very sorry, but I do have everything ready to pull the name now. So I will see everybody on Thursday for our another 3D March Marathon. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.